Hare Krishna, Sneha, Mataji, Hare Krishna. So, meanwhile, you all can put from where you all have come, because must have come from different places, right? So in the chat, you can share from which place you all have come. So I am from Bangalore. So we are doing this course, Understanding Bhagavad Gita in 18 days. You all can hear me? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, that's okay. And we have Ajay Prabhu, he is the co-host. So anything, you have any doubts during the course, in this 18 days, he will help you with the logistics and everything. Okay. So, before, okay. So you all be having some idea of Bhagavad Gita, or you have Bhagavad Gita in your house and things. So must be having some idea, or you want to, some curiosity, you all have come. But I only request that you all stay with us for this 18 days, because this is a spiritual journey. It's a spiritual literature which you are studying. So it will be, it's not like the regular academic education. Okay. So this is mostly spiritual thing. So I will request all of you to be with us in this journey for the 18 days, right? Before I start, normally I will invoke the blessings of Sri Radha Krishna and do the Mangalachana. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Nanaka Shalakaya Chakshurmitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapada Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnamscha Sri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vittam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakana Vittamscha E Krishna Karuna Sindho Dino Bandho Jagat Pate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatrapyascha Kripa Sindhu Avevacha Patita Mam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Tarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare. I once again welcome you all for this course. So, okay. Yes, nicely. You all are from Bangalore. Somebody is from Australia also. Nice. Hyderabad, Mumbai. Good. Okay. So, others are still shy to put it. So, what are we doing in this 18 days? About Bhagavad Gita, we are based on the teachings of our Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. Okay, he is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. So, all our teachings and whatever the Bhagavad Gita we are following, the commentary, the purpose he has given, it's all based on our founder Acharya Swami Prabhupada, Bhakti Vedanta Swami. So, before I think you all need to know a little bit about him, because you will understand what is this all about. Okay. So here you see Prabhupada is conducting Ratha Yatra in San Francisco in July 1967. So this is the journey, and it's not that it was, we all know about this Ratha Yatra because in India we have it in Puri Jagannath, right? Where we take the deities of Jagannatha, Balaram and Subhadra, the journey out of the temple to the city, and everybody gets the darshan, and you see lakhs and lakhs of people come and join that. So there, the English-speaking people were not allowed, but Prabhupada started this Rath Yatra all over the world, and this is the first yatra he started in San Francisco in US, okay, in 1967. So you can see it was not that he did it now, but he was from his young age, he was doing this. His father encouraged him in these teachings, and he was in the Vaishnava family, and he was into this right from his young age. But when he was when he started his spiritual journey was when he got his order from the spiritual master. He met him at 1922, and two things this master told him: Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. What did he tell him? First meeting itself, he said, you must preach this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching to English-speaking people. You all know English, but he was worried. Prabhupada was worried because it was a freedom struggle was going on. He said, but the master told that all will go on, politics, but this preaching to the English speaker is more important. So he had two orders. One is to preach in English. Another one is to print books whenever he gets that money. So these were the two things which became his mission throughout his life. And he started trying to do it in India. But he did bring out a magazine like Back to Godhead and all that, but it was very meager success. So he took even sannyas. But in 1965, he could go to US in a cargo ship. And what did he take? He took Bhagavatam. He just got, he translated the whole thing into English, not the whole thing, just one volume, canto. And he took 300 volumes of it in the ship, and he went all the way to New York, and with just $8 in his pocket. He was a sannyas, isn't it? But within a year, he could establish this society, ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He was able to, and all that teachings were based on the Hare Nama mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So he only brought two things. One was Bhagavatam, one is Bhagavad Gita. This, and he was very successful in preaching this within 10 years. Within 10 years, he was able to have the books in many languages, more than 80 languages. All his followers were able to translate it to their languages, and they was able to have 108 temples across the world, and also the Back to Godhead magazine also became very successful. With all this took place because in 10 years, and this, you might think it is a wonder, but it's all by the Lord's grace, Krishna conscious. So this was the time which he was able to do. And these are the temples we can see. This is in USA. This is in UK, Bhakti Vedanta Manor. And this is in Ukraine, how the people, I don't know how they are now today with the war which is going on, but this was a few years back. And this is in South Africa, Durban. Then this is the big constructions coming up. He said this will be the headquarters for us, ISKCON, in West Bengal, Maya. Okay. And planetarium is also coming up there. So you can see that, that was his first journey when he went by ship, but within 10 years, this spread like a fire. And he traveled across all the 5 continents. And then it just spread like fire, and you can see how it is. That time it was 108 temples, but today we have more than 600, 700 in every city. And okay, I think you all let me share this sound. This is a nice thing which you all have to, because you should understand this founder Acharya, the struggle he took, the way he has brought out these teachings in English, and then it went into other languages, and now it is available to every one of us. Like we are able to even conduct class online, and those scriptures are available online, and all this possible because of this Acharya's efforts. Okay. and like you all too.
In Delhi, Bhaktivedanta Swami personally distributes copies of Back to Godhead and, with small donations, struggles to maintain the publication. He regularly sees Surendra Kumar Jain, a printer.
It was somewhere in the month of February 1956 that I first met Prabhupada. He came to my press for getting the magazine printed, Back to Godhead. I found that it was not very easy for him to collect money. He would come to the press practically every day, and after the printing was done, he would do everything himself. But he was a dedicated person, a very committed person. And at the times when he was not in a position to pay the bills, I would ask him, why are you running this? Why don't you stop it? He would say, no, it is my mission. And one day, Surendra Kumar, you will see that I will succeed in my mission.
He moves to 100 West 72nd Street. 3 months later, his typewriter and tape recorder for translating are stolen. Bhaktivedanta Swami later said, I came to America risking my life. I was physically unfit and at the fag end of my days. Sometimes I did not know where to live, nor was I used to the severe cold. Seemingly, I was alone for 1 year, but I never felt alone. I always felt the presence of my spiritual master, so I did not lose my enthusiasm, despite all difficulties. Bhaktivedanta Swami arrived in America during a decade of discontent. There's widespread dissatisfaction with America's war in Vietnam, and with what some consider her racist, exploitative dealings at home and abroad. Disillusioned by the establishment, the youth create a counterculture of their own. Around the time Bhaktivedanta Swami came, waves of Americans are breaking away from the status quo, searching for an alternative. For a short time, Bhaktivedanta Swami lives in the Bowery in a loft given by a friend. Mukunda Goswami, who was attending his classes at this time, tells of their first meeting.
He wore very thick glasses and had a big Sanskrit book spread out before him. His voice was very deep and resonant. He spoke with great authority, and the Sanskrit shlokas he spoke were very beautiful, very melodious. He was obviously a very distinguished scholar, and I became very curious, almost astonished as to how someone of his stature, he looked very much like an aristocrat, could be living and residing in the Bowery, the Skid Row of New York. And afterwards, I approached him to speak. I was standing, and he was sitting on his small dais, so he was looking up at me, and he had the look of a very happy, innocent young child. And I could see that he actually had all the time in the world for me. He wasn't short of time. I asked questions, he would answer. Then after some time, he moved to a somewhat better neighborhood on 2nd Avenue. We helped him rent a small storefront there, and he had an apartment in the back. And within a few weeks' time, this little storefront on 2nd Avenue, on the Lower East Side of New York, which was then populated by thousands of young hippies, had been transformed into a beautiful Krishna temple.
So,
Prabhupada sees his society grow into a worldwide confederation with more than 100 temples, restaurants, institutes, schools, and farm communities. 500 years ago, Lord Chaitanya predicted that one day the holy name of Krishna would be heard in every town and village of the world. By the mid-70s, Hare Krishna becomes a household word. In Delhi.
so you see, this is the our Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON temple, and how he spread the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So it was just he had full faith on the chanting of this mantra and the teachings of his Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and that's all he preached, and it spread like a wildfire. Okay, so now you all have come to this wonderful course, let us see what we have got. And here, what we do is we don't look at the slokas as such, but we go by the summary, because we're going 18 days and it has got 700 slokas. We don't go sloka by sloka, but we go by chapter, giving you the gist. Okay. And this is being first started by our ISKCON Mangaluru group, and our Namanishta Das is the temple president, and by his grace we are able to, and I attended the course in the first batch, and every month is conducting it, and in all languages, and not timings. You all have seen the registration, right? And they are situated. So Bhagavad Gita is nothing but an epic scripture. It has answers to all our problems. It was considered a digital dictionary by Mahatma Gandhi. It's a book of instruction. So in life, this is a spiritual journey. As I said, you all have started your spiritual journey with this class, right? So that means, what is that? What is the problem we have? Everybody faces some doubts or thing in our life does come. You might have completed your education in college education, and you would have taken up a job, and then you would have got easily settled marriage, and then you have children, and then you grow up. Then you'll be thinking, is this what it's all about? Life is all about success. Means what? Just get the degree, get a job and things. So that doubt does linger in everybody's mind. Is this what we have, or who are we, or what is our purpose in life, and what is the real problems, is the problems in the life? And that doubt, once you start getting that, that means that is the beginning of your life in spiritual journey. Okay, so and here we get Bhagavad Gita gives you the answers to all our problems. All these kind of problems, it could be emotional problems, a mental problem, and you'll get the answer. It's not like you'll get for a particular thing, how do I cross this river or something, no, like that. But you will get the principles. So you will be able to think. Krishna is addressing to that. Okay. So, and you might think, why I'm saying like this. If this book, when we know it was spoken in the battlefield 5,000 years ago, isn't it? Around when the just began by the end of Dwapara Yuga, right? And it still is there. Still people are referring to it. As I said here, Mahatma Gandhi and many leaders have referred to this book. And it is unique because it was spoken in battlefield, and it's a practical preaching book for all of us to get the life problems and get the inspiration. So Mahatma Gandhi says, those who meditate on the Gita will derive fresh joy and new meanings from it every day. So you keep reading and reading, you will get something else will spring up from that, and you will get some other thing which you have missed out. So he says it gives you fresh joy and new meanings. And we have another quote from Albert Einstein. He's a scientist, I think it's a well-known, the thing, who gave us the relativity theory. So he says, when I read the Bhagavad Gita and reflect about how God created this universe, everything else seems it's such a Hare Krishna. I think what I'll do is I'll go through this, and I'll keep to 10 minutes by the end of it, so that we can all reflect on whatever we have been discussing in this every day. Okay, and you can have my questions on that, right? So this is the created a universe, everything else seems so superfluous. And what is the Bhagavad Gita we are referring to? There are many versions, many people have given. It's a very popular book and everybody wants to comment. So, and how do we go, which book we think? We refer to Bhagavad Gita as it is. Why? So like take a phone and you want to charge it. And if you take a broken and a cable and you try to charge and the cable is broken somewhere, what happens? You won't have a proper connection. No, the current will not flow from the thing to the other thing, and you won't be able to get the properly data transfer because there's a lack of contact between source and the receiver. Same way, what the Bhagavad Gita as it is we don't give any interpretations. We just see how the Krishna is saying. There's no interpretation or whatever we read. So here, Bhagavad Gita was first spoken to Brahmaji, Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma later spoke to Narada. And like that, it has come from spoken people, Acharyas. Then finally, it has come down to Madhvacharya, and then from Madhvacharya, it has come down to our thing. If you come down the line, and the list of the Acharyas are given in the book, Bhagavad Gita as it is. And now we have Bhagavad Gita as it is written, translated by our Prabhupada. Okay, so we refer to that. And it should be come from the thing. Similarly, the message of Krishna must come via an unbroken chain of reciprocs. So we should not interpret as we like, but we should see what was the what did Krishna say to Arjuna, and has it been spoken and given down. So it's a vast book, and systematic study of the Gita sloka by sloka, anything, it's not thing. But what we are aiming to do with that, it has got 700 slokas, as I said. We only focus on the flow of thoughts between Krishna and Arjuna. What is the, this is the dialogue, and everyone knows, I think even by serial or thing, or you will have certain idea that this was spoken just before the war started in the battlefield, and it's a dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna. So Arjuna is getting bewildered, wanted to know what is why we have to fight, and how the philosophy is given. So this, and our objective for this course in 18 days is to prepare you all for a deeper study of Gita. So unless instead of just getting a vague idea, you're getting some idea, get a gist of it, what is there in each chapter, and then it will invoke interest for you all to go deeper into it, because the more you read repeatedly and reflect on what the instructions Krishna is giving, then you try to understand how to reflect it in your life. So, and this is a 1 hour a day class, 1 chapter a day. Only key aspects of each chapter will be discussed, and we will have quiz. And there will be a quiz also, because the quiz will help you to provoke. The questions will help you all to again look back into the chapter or look back on what Krishna is asking. So it's just a multi-choice thing. It's very easy to attend the quiz, no problem. And then whatever we are doing, we are in the level 1. When you go to deeper thing, you can go to other level 2, 3, and then 4 to the Bhakti Shastri level. So we go to deeper and deeper, we study. And all these courses are offered by ISKCON Mangaluru, and it's all free. It's nothing chargeable. Okay. They use, that is how we start our journey, going to take the Ashraya of the Guru, Bhakti steps. And these books are available. You can get concession. I think that all that are there in the website. So you can go there and order these books. It's not a problem. Okay. So let us start the Bhagavad Gita. So I think this is all about our Prabhupada and the background and how our logistics, how we conduct. And before starting the classes, I mean, the class starts at 3 p.m., right? But at around 2:30, there will be a group who will come and recite the slokas of that particular chapter and the translation also. So if you all just come before, and you can also, it will be like a revision for you all, while the class will be taken on that. Okay. So this is the first one, and it is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Arjuna's Yoga of Lamentation, right? And it has got 5 sections where it starts. This Bhagavad Gita is about the observing the armies on the battlefield, because that is the background. That is the setup we have where this Gita was spoken. And it starts with the inquiry by Dhritarashtra. So there are 3 people you need to look into. Dhritarashtra, then Duryodhana is the fear, is expressing these verses 1.2 to 1.11. And then blowing of conches and how there's a response by the armies, the generals. And then starts the observation by Arjuna. Okay. So this is how observation, and then he starts giving his reason for not to fight. So this is all about in the observing the armies on the battlefield. Okay. So as I said, we are going to see the different reactions to the same scene by Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, and Arjuna. So this is a battlefield, and this is a conflict within the family. They are cousins who Dhritarashtra's sons are Duryodhana and Kauravas, whereas Pandavas are his brother's son. So the fight is between the cousins, that is Pandavas and the Kauravas, right? So the conflict is within the family, and this conflict is nothing new. We find conflict everywhere. Conflict is within the individual, within our own families, within our own country, and now the war is going on between Ukraine and Russia, and there are so many things happening around, isn't it? And unrest is there everywhere. So whatever we saw in Prabhupada's time, we saw that was the hippies movement and this, but we had our own ups and downs also we have, isn't it? The corona itself put the whole, globally, everybody were put into difficulties, right? They were. So that conflicts and such kind of thing comes in everybody's life, and it's universe. So it's nothing new. So let us observe how these three are their characters. Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, and Arjuna. So the Bhagavad Gita starts off with a query by the king Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmashetra kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kim akurvata Sanjaya. So who is Sanjaya? Anybody knows who Sanjaya is? Hare Krishna. You can put in the chat if you can. Right. Anybody knows who is Sanjaya is? Here we have Sanjaya sitting, and here we have the king Dhritarashtra. So Sanjaya is the companion to King Dhritarashtra. Now Dhritarashtra is physically blind. Okay. And where they are sitting in the palace. And from there, Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya what is happening at Kurukshetra, where the war is, where the armies have all assembled. Okay. My sons are there and the Pandavas are there. And what is happening? And why is he asking Sanjaya? Because Sanjaya has been given the vision by spiritual master Vedvyas to see what is happening in the thing. He is sitting in the palace and is able to observe everything what's happening in the battlefield. He was been given the spiritual vision. Just like we sitting here in our house, we are seeing the match which was taking place in other countries. Even I think you all have watched the match, yesterday's match between England and Pakistan, cricket match. So we are seeing, and what is happening there is being seen on the TV. So we are able to see like that. Here, Sanjay has been given that vision to see what is happening in the. So Dhritarashtra is asking him. Dhritarashtra uvacha means asking. Oh Sanjaya, after assembling in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do, being desirous to? So it was not a thing to be asked. They have all assembled and they are going to fight. So now why he is asking, and what is his mental state? Let us observe that, right? And here is very much, you have to see, he's saying my sons and the sons of Pandu. So actually they were given to him as he was the guardians for them, and he had to treat them equally. But here the way he says, my sons and the sons of Pandu do. So it's like, when you boil the milk and put some lemon, it breaks up, So you will get a nice paneer out of it, or we can make sweets and all that. So it's like that. And this is the Dharmashetra, the Kurukshetra, the place the war was taking place is a spiritual Dharma. It is the Dharmashetra. Okay. And there many people do homage. And that place was chosen for the battlefield, right? And then he's splitting answers, my sons and Pandavas. Okay, is there he's saying. Okay. And Kim Akurva, what they're doing. What will they do? They have come to fight. So what is nothing new? But why is he asking? So let us look. How is he looking at the battlefield? He's very, very anxious. Very, very.
Ma'am, Mataji, why the photo was like that of milk cuddling and then rasgulla? Why the?
Yes, Mataji. When you put some thing, the milk is split out, no? That you will get paneer and the water out. It's just like that. He was discriminating between his sons and the Pandavas. He was not looking, treating them as his own sons. Actually, he was the guardian. His once brother is died. He had to take care of them. As also as a king, he had to take care of Pandavas as his own sons. But he should not be discriminate. Just like we have in the milk, no? We have paneer and the thing like that, it was two distinction. He was very, very, it was very, very obvious the way he was showing his partiality. Just like you can see the paneer coming out of the water, no? Like that, he was very partial. So that is why we took up this example. So,
Thank
how
you.
is it? Okay, Mataji. So how is he? How it is his strength? He is very doubtful. Why is he doubtful of the success for his sons? He was very doubtful because the fight is taking place and the Kurukshetra is a place of pilgrimage where it will always be the one who is right and one who think is going, one who are good. They are the ones who are going to on the side of Dharma only will win. Okay, so it was a place of Dharma, and he knows, he very well knows they are all in wrong. They have done all injustice to his nephew. Okay. And but you know what his sons have done and his thing. So he was doubtful of his army winning. Though he had Bhishma Dev, he had Dronacharya, and he had all great warriors, and there's a big army. It was so big army, much, much bigger army they had. But still he was doubtful. And he was fearful because he was unfair to him. And all why he was unfair? He was attached to his sons, attached to the kingdom. He wanted the kingdom for himself. He wanted to be the king, even if not the thing. And this was his mentality, that this is mine and this is me, and he was material. He wanted the kingdom for himself and for his sons only, and he didn't want to give it to the rightful heir to the thing was Pandav, was his Pandav sons, right? But he was not. Was his mindset. That's why, and we can relate this type of people in our life also, in even today's world, okay? So, and he was physically blind as well as spiritually blind. He was blind. And this is when you reflect on his mentality and thing, you can see two things comes out of it. One is it attachment or is it affection? Should we have, should we be attached to a family like that or affection? Isn't it? We should be only affectionate to our family, but not attached like this. So to that extent that you will commit any type of sin or any type of injustice to the others. So that type of attachment is not. So this is something we need to reflect upon, whether it's attachment and the reflection. Okay, so these are the things which comes out when we read Bhagavad Gita. Okay, like this comes out. These are the things which we need to reflect upon. And also the mindsets of Duryodhana and
Namaste, ma'am. I did not understand about the affection and attachment.
That's right, Mataji. That here he was. We have affectionate. We should be affectionate to our family, isn't it? Affectionate to our children, to our parents, to our sisters and brothers. But we should not become too attached as though that. I mean, our life is nothing without them. Like that, you cannot. And in the name of attachment, you do all sorts of sins. Like even to the extent of stealing, to the extent of being injustice to others, that should not be there. That attachment too rigid, because he was too attached, to his sons, and he was blind to whatever they did. They did so many harmful things to the Pandavas, to their cousins, but he wasn't correcting them. He was attached too much. he loved them so much and things. He was blind to their misgivings, misdeeds, isn't it? But as a king, he should have been more fair. He should have corrected his sons, whether his son or his citizen, but he should have done that. But he didn't. That is because he was too attached to the king, that he wanted to be the king, and attached to his sons. Understand, Mataji? Hare Krishna. I hope I made it clear. And then when you look at, so that, and why all this has come? Because why he was so much attached or thinking? Because of his dissatisfaction. He was blind. So though he was the eldest son, because he was physically blind, he could not become the king of the Hastinapura, right? So his brother Pandu was made the king. But later it so happened Pandu died, and he was the kingdom was given into his hand as to take care of. He's only a take care of till his Pandu sons grow up. Okay, so this dissatisfaction was there in his heart, and it was it corroded. That became so much that he was doing all adharma, allowing everything dharma to take place in his thing. Though people were advising him properly, but he was not heeding, like Vidura and Bhishma, they were all telling him, but he was deaf to all that. And all that because he was dissatisfied. He was dissatisfied and he thought he was not able to do it. Okay. So this is something which we need to reflect. The dissatisfaction will lead to adharma. And Adi rightfully handed the throne to Yudhishthira. What would have been the result? There won't have been any war, nor would there have been anything, right? And you could have punished Duryodhana for his sins and all the others, his friends and everybody. But he didn't do. So he was the root cause for the battle which took place in Kurukshetra. He was the soul. He is the fully responsible for that. Okay. So now let us look at Duryodhana's reaction. So Duryodhana is coming to Dronacharya, his Acharya, and he's coming and saying, Pashyatyam Pandu Putranam Acharya Mahityam Chamum Viyudam Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Bhimata. So what does he say? This is the verse 3. You can see the fear in his eyes. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. So now he's coming, and the way he's talking to his Acharya is the Guru, no, is the one who has arranged all this army and everything. Dronacharya under whom? He says, your disciple, the son of Drupada. Drupada had some misgivings they had some enmity between Drupada and Dronacharya, that was very known. And he had sent his son to be trained under Dronacharya. But Dronacharya knew that this is the son of Drupada, and he will be the cause for his death and everything. But still, he followed his dharma and he taught that son properly, Drushtadeva. And now, what he has done, he has arranged the Pandavas' army very well. So this was taken aback. He didn't expect that this will be arranged. And he was fearing. So you can see the fear in his thing, and the way he is telling his teachers, see how they have done it. And you have taught the son of Drupada, and now he is there in front of us explaining. So you can see his mentality, the way he is so not respectful to his own guru. Okay, the way he is talking like a politician. So you can see he's a pakka politician, right? And he has done all kinds of sins, like he has when Bhima was young, they had given poison to him, and even they tried to burn the house of the Pandavas, and even they attacked them with deadly weapons. And they were thieves because they cheated the Pandavas in a dice game and plundered all their wealth, and who occupied another's land. They occupied the Pandavas' land, and they were not even ready to give even a small 5 villages also. And finally it has ended up in this war. And then the son, and they even kidnapped their wife, no, Draupadi, how they insulted there in the camp. Hastinapur. So they've done all you have to think, all these type of addresses, Lord doesn't forgive them, it is, they will be punished for all that. And he has done all these 6 types of address was, okay. And so when he was talking this, when he was having this discussion with his master, Dronacharya, then Bhishma Dev wanted to put a stop, so he blew the conch shells. So that is the thing they do when they start the war. Before they start blowing their conch shells. So the conch shells were blown by the Kauravas, and then Pandavas also responded it. So Sanjay is observing all this. So he is telling all that to Dhritarashtra, whatever Duryodhana was speaking, and then the conscious thing. And he saw this. He saw that the blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious. It was just echoing in that battlefield and vibrating both in the sky and the earth. And it shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. And he could see the sons of Dhritarashtra, the fear in the sons of the Dhritarashtra. So you could easily see that. So Ridyani Vyadarat. So Gosha Dhritarashtra Ridyani Vyadarat Nabhascha Prithvim Chaiva Tumulo Abhyana. So Sanjaya could observe all that, even the heart, the way, the fear, because that type of vision he was given by Vedvyas. Okay. And why this happens? Because they were new. The people, sons of Dhritarashtra knew very well that this is the end of them. There's a thing, it was like a death is there waiting for them at any moment. So they knew they will be fail in this battle. So that's how it shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. Okay. But Sanjaya could see a lot of signs of victory. So this is a war. From the beginning, everybody knew who is going to win. It's not like a suspense story, where you will come to know only end of the thing, we will come to know who is the murderer and all that, who is the one who is going to win. But this is the thing where everyone know that Pandavas are going to win the war. Why? Because Krishna was with them. And all these signs which was observed by Sanjaya, he said, of the Pandavas' victory. Anybody could understand what the victory is, why Pandavas will win the war? Anyone can put their answers in the chat, whatever wants to think, answer. So only affectionate, never be attached. What is else, what's going on? Okay. Thank you. So, right. So what could be the sign of victory for them? It was a Dharma Kshetra. So the place where it was thing itself is a place of pilgrimage. And the chariot which Arjuna had was given by Agni Deva, and it could go in all directions. And Hanuman was there in the Kapidwaja in the flag. And the conch shells which Krishna and Arjuna wrote were transcendental conch shells. And then he had divine weapons, Gandiva. Then Takta Jivata. The people who had assembled in the battlefield, they were all ready to give up their lives. They have come, they knew that this is the end of it. They know they have come to their ending. Takta Jivata. Because Duryodhana also says in that when he's talking to his Dronacharya that all my friends are here, they have come and they are ready to give their lives. So he had gone to that extent that he will to get not to give the kingdom to the Pandavas, he was ready to sacrifice even his friends. He was very well known that his friends have come here even to lay their lives. And he will go to that extent also. And it was a Moksha, the Ekadashi, when this war was started. And whenever Krishna is there, Lakshmi, Bhagya Lakshmi will be there. And Rishikesha. Rishikesha is none other than Lord Krishna. He is the Lord of senses. Okay. So this is, and you can see how Lord has come here as a charioteer for Arjuna. He said that he will do anything for his devotees. But still, he is the Lord. And he was directing the entire thing in this battlefield. Okay, that everyone knew. So all these symptoms, Sanjaya could understand, and he was observing, and he was telling it to the Dhritarashtra. But Dhritarashtra's mind won't be thinking. It was so blind. Now let us see what is the reaction of Arjuna. So what does Arjuna say? Arjuna uvacha drishvemam usvajanam Krishna yuyutsam samupasitam siddhanti mamam gatrani mukam cha karishat. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. So he is feeling, and why these things, all these things come, you might understand, you might think this all was known to them, no, that they are going to fight with their relatives and their friends and all that. That why does it happen? See, once you know, you plan how you do and how you execute and everything, but when you actually come to cross the bridge, when you come there on the actual field or when your actual situation, that's when you get really bewildered. You that effect will be much more. You won't be, I think that happens in everybody's life also. So here, symptoms of Arjuna's body was, it was due to compassion. He was soft-hearted. Why the hell I've come here to fight with them and they are going to die? So his body was shivering, his mouth was drying up, his body was trembling, Jay was standing on end, and the Gandiva was slipping from his hands. His skin was burning and he was unable to stand, and mind was reeling. So these were the symptoms, and it shows he's a compassionate. Actually, he's a devotee and he's a compassionate. So he was thinking why, and there you saw how Arjuna was, Duryodhana, he was totally fearful and he was very vengeful. The way he was talking to his, not at all respectful to his guru. Okay, and here you see the totally opposite reaction of Arjuna. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsman in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. He says, I don't know how anything can come like this by killing the thing, and after all, for what we have come for the kingdom, and why the hell we want. And he thinks that even if I get the victory, I won't be happy about it. So then also he says, sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of goddess of fortune? How could we be happy by killing us? And here the way he addresses Krishna, no? Once he addresses him as Krishna, then he's addressing him as Madhava and all that. And here the way he's talking, he knows very clearly, he knows what is the religious principles and the dharma and all that. So he's talking from that angle. He says that sin will come if I kill these sons, and what should we gain? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsman? So he is telling that. And then he continues. He says, there will be a destruction of dynasty because the elderly people and all will go and the family will be unprotected, the women, children. So the eternal family tradition is vanquished. And thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligious practice because dharma will there, because there won't be anybody to guide or protect them. And no protects. And the children will go wayward. So he is now worried about the future dynasty also because of the destruction of dynasty. And then he gives another reason. Now do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered? See, they were around from 40 slokas, he'll be telling only this. And you see, Krishna is just listening and listening and listening to all that. And finally, he comes to the conclusion, says, I don't know which is better, to conquer them or being conquered by them. And sons of Dhritarashtra whom we kill, we should not care to live, are now standing before us on this. So he says now he doesn't know what to do. Finally, so what was the reason he gave? He was compassionate. So he was so compassionate, you could see all the symptoms, and he was the thing. And then he tells there's no enjoyment, whether I win or lose, there is no enjoyment because you will be killing your own friends and things. And he says there's a sin involved because it is sinful to kill your guru and your grandfather and your nephews. And finally, so the family tradition will be lost because there won't be anybody to this thing. And other is finally what is in this. So these are the 5 reasons which he gives. I mean, you could categorize them like this and indecision. So how you relate? Which do you think is better? Should you think you shouldn't have felt these things or it was so? This is what was the observations in the battlefield about the reactions of Arjuna. Okay. Again, we can reflect on this. So by this, we come to the end of this chapter. So we saw Dhritarashtra's inquiry, his mindset, how he is fearful, how he is very doubt about the success because he knew he was the mentality. Then Duryodhana's fear, we saw the way he came and talked to the master and he was pinpointing that your disciple is now standing before us and arranging all that. Then blowing of conches, which Sanjay could see the fear in the sons of Dhritarashtra's sons. And then Arjuna's observations. We saw, no, 20, from 20 verse to 46, around that many verses, he gives his reasons not to fight. Okay. So now we will be wondering, no, why Kim Akuvata, what they did? Why does Arjuna inquire? Why he becomes bewildered now and he becomes indecisive? And is this a situation do we arrive in our own life? That we need to reflect. So when we're reading these chapters, you can always try to reflect how it is in your life. So we might be very educative, intelligent and all, but there might be situations where we are caught in crossroads. We don't know what to do, what to think, how it happened, how it occurred, how and why did we come into such situation? And now how knowingly we have gone into that. So here we can see Arjuna also, we can relate to Arjuna like that. Okay. And he was not that he didn't lack intelligence. He had the skills to fight. He had, the values and the thing, but still he got into this dilemma. So with this, let us have some discussions. I'll just close. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. So this is what we'll have in this chapter. Vancha kalpatra abhyascha kripa sindhu aveva cha patitam nam pavnepo vaishnavyo namo nama antakosti vaishnav ki. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.